The movie opens when the protagonist, a young girl named Tessa, is preparing to move out of her house to go to college. Her mother is worried about her going away and leaving some stuff back accidentally, but Noah, Tessa's boyfriend, assures her that it will be fine and he will drive all the way to her college if there is an issue. After that, they drive her all the way to her college, where they get introduced to her roommate, Steph, whom her mother instantly dislikes. Her mother wants her to change rooms, but Tessa doesn't share the idea with her and tells her mother to trust in her, as she will not let anything distract her from her studies. Soon she says goodbye to her mother and Noah, and they leave from there. Tessa returns to her room, where Steph asks her if her mother was freaked out about that and offers her a joint. Tessa replies that her mother is just protective of her and refuses to take a joint, leading Steph to figure out that her mother has nothing to worry about. The following day, Tessa goes to her first class and meets another freshman named Landon. They instantly connect by being the first students in the class and start to bond even after having different majors. After coming back to her dorms, she takes a shower, goes back to her room in a towel, and is left shocked when she sees a boy sitting on Steph's bed. Tessa tries to get him out of the room, but he shows her keys, saying he is in the right room, and tells her not to flatter herself as he is not looking at her. Tessa is speechless, but just then Steph comes inside the room, and Tessa instantly tells her to send her boyfriend away. Steph clears Tessa's confusion by explaining that the boy named Hardin is not her boyfriend but just a friend. She then invites Tessa to a party, but she refuses, and even though Hardin tries to mock her about that, she doesn't pay him much attention. He soon leaves their room after giving her a spoiler of her favorite book, but to his surprise, Tessa already knew the story. Tessa's second interaction with Hardin is when they bump into each other in a cafe, but Hardin is with his friends, so they only make eye contact from afar. The next day, Tessa is studying in the library when Steph comes there and almost drags her away, saying she has to go to the party with her. Tessa has no choice left, so she reluctantly follows Steph, and after changing in their room, they go to the house where the party is. At the party, Steph instantly goes to her girlfriend, Tristan, leaving Tessa for a while, but they soon rejoin her, and they go to their group of friends, which includes Hardin. After Steph introduces her to the group, Molly instantly involves her in a game of truth and dare. Tessa chooses the truth at first, but when she can't answer a really private question about her life, she shifts to daring. The girl Molly again chimes in and asks her to kiss Hardin as a dare. He even moves closer to her, but Tessa refuses and instead goes away from there. Tessa goes out on the balcony, where she calls Noah, who is not very happy when he finds out she is attending a party. Tessa soon cuts the call and goes back inside, where she finds a room with the look of a library. That spikes her interest, and she starts to look at different books. She is surprised when Hardin comes there, claiming that it is his room. They chat a little bit about books and then almost kiss, but Tessa pulls back at the last minute and leaves from there. She goes back to her dorm room, where she keeps getting texts from Noah, who says that her mother is not very happy with her, but Tessa just ignores the text. The next day, Tessa bumps into Hardin when they share a class together, and they end up arguing when the teacher asks a question about the novel Pride and Prejudice. Hardin also follows her after class, says to her that he enjoyed their banter in class, and leaves after that. Soon Landon joins Tessa, and when she complains to him about Hardin, he asks her to be careful, revealing that Hardin is the son of Chancellor Scott and they are both practically brothers as their parents are dating. Tessa spends the coming few days with her roommate Steph, but she can't seem to avoid Hardin as they bump into each other again in the cafe. This time, Hardin says to her that they can't avoid each other because he is friends with Steph, so they should start over and become friends. Hardin then says to her that he wants to show her something, and even though she is reluctant at first, Tessa still agrees to go with him. He brings her to a secret lake in a forest and introduces the place as his hiding spot. They share a good time there, swimming together in the lake and having a good talk. After spending some time in the lake, Hardin slowly moves towards Tessa, and they end up sharing a sweet kiss, but Tessa stops him before things could go any further. They come back to the city, where they go to a cafe for lunch but have to leave early after an awkward encounter with Hardin's friends Molly and Zed. Hardin's behavior towards her changes immediately after meeting with her friends, and when Tessa mentions that she wants to tell Noah about them, Hardin tells her that she can break up with her boyfriend, but for that, she doesn't need to blame him. Tessa leaves him in the cafe and goes back to her room, where she tries to put on some makeup and a bold dress from Steph's closet, but she changes her mind and instead goes to bed. That night, she dreams about Hardin sitting on her bed. Tessa is left surprised when the next day, at the end of the classes, she gets a surprise visit from Noah. He says that he came here to give her a surprise and then asked her to follow him around. Tessa takes him to a party and introduces him to her friend group, including Hardin. They have to leave early when Jace, one of Hardin's friends, tries to kiss her during a game, but Hardin beats up his friend when he tries to force Tessa. They both come back to Tessa's room, and Noah soon falls asleep while they are watching a movie. Just then, Tessa gets a message from Landon, asking her to come to his home due to Hardin. When she goes there, she finds the whole house in a mess, with all the things scattered and broken on the floor. Landon tells her how Hardin had an argument with his father and lost it when Tessa's name came up, so now he wants her to talk to him. Tessa accepts his request and goes to talk to Hardin, who was sitting outside beside the pool. Hardin is angry with her, but he reveals that his father is getting remarried, which reminds him of the poor condition his mother lives in. He then throws the alcohol bottle he was holding on the floor, and Tessa accidentally injures her hand on the broken glass. Even though he had refused to politely talk to her first, seeing her hand, he rushes to her and takes her to his room, where he tends to her wound. In his room, they share a kiss and intimate moments with each other and then fall asleep. The following day, Tessa wakes up first and goes to check up on Noah, but he was already out, and after seeing her there with Hardin, he leaves to go back without saying a word to her. Tessa is very upset with her breakup with Noah and ignores Hardin for some time, but soon meets up with him again. She shares her story with him for the first time, revealing how her father left when she was only 10 and she had to take care of her mother, who was suffering from what happened, and in all this time Noah was his only support. She told Hardin that Noah was her best friend, but he is much more to her. The coming few days they spent in their little happy bubble, but it soon broke when Tessa's mother caught them kissing in her dorm. Her mother tries to force her to break up with Hardin, but Tessa refuses, saying for the first time she wants to live her life on her own instead of just following what her mother wants. Her mother is shocked by her behavior, but when Tessa remains strong in her decision, her mother leaves after cutting her off. Later, when Landon finds out about what happened, he shares his concern regarding Hardin's complicated personality and asks her to be careful. Tessa continues to see Hardin, and when he shows him the beautiful apartment of his father's friend who moved abroad, she agrees to move in with him there. They soon start to live together and spend most of their time reading books or going on cute dates. Hardin sometimes gets insecure about their relationship, as he says that he doesn't deserve Tessa, but she assures him that nothing could ever change the way she feels about him. They go together to attend Hardin's father's wedding reception after Tessa convinces him to go there. At the reception, Hardin surprisingly behaves well with his father's wife, Karen, but he still remains cold towards his father and gets angry when his father mentions that he can introduce Tessa to one of his friends who owns a publishing company. At the end of the night, when his father Ken goes on stage to give a speech and reminisces about some of his memories with Hardin, it makes him angry. He says to Tessa that this is not the father he grew up with because, at that time, Ken was an alcoholic. Tessa tries to say that he should forgive his father, but Hardin says he can't do that, revealing how his mother got molested by some thugs his father got into a fight with at a bar, and when that happened, he was forced to watch because his father was not at home to stop that. Tessa is shocked to hear that, so when Ken approaches them again, she bails Hardin out by inviting him to a dance, and soon they come back to their shared apartment, where they sleep together for the first time as Tessa loses her virginity. The next day, Tessa finds some suspicious messages from Molly on Hardin's phone, but when she confronts him about them, he refuses to tell her anything and instead leaves from there. That night, Hardin doesn't come back home, and she couldn't even contact him. Instead, she gets a message from Jace, who invites her out and says he will tell her about Hardin. Tessa finds Hardin in a cafe, but to her surprise, his whole group, including Steph, is present there. Tessa decides to confront Molly, who doesn't hold back, and shows her a video of the party they first went to, revealing that Hardin only pursued her as a challenge, as he was intending to make her fall in love with him and then break her heart. Tessa is heartbroken to hear that, and even though Hardin tries to convince her that his intention changed over time, she doesn't listen to him and leaves from there. She goes back to her hometown, where she reconciles with her mother and Noah, who both forgive her. In the next few weeks, Tessa cuts all ties with Steph and her group of friends and eventually applies for an internship at Vance Publishing. Before she leaves college at the end of the semester, Tessa's lecturer hands her an essay written by Harridan in which he confesses his love for Tessa. After she reads it, she goes back to the lake in the hope of meeting Hardin there. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.